pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. It is our distinct honor to take this time each year to pause for a time of reflection and remembrance in honor of those who have committed themselves to the service of our country. We as Mustangs pride ourselves in hosting this prestigious ceremony and hold the highest expectations of our students and guests as we express our respect, appreciation, and attention. At this time, I would like to recognize a few guests in attendance with us this morning. When you hear your name, please stand and be recognized. Principal, Mr. Carl White. Senator, Ms. Tanya Anderson. Advisory Council, Ms. Sarah Johnson. Again, thank you for joining us for this special occasion. Students, I want to emphasize the importance of good behavior throughout the entire program. If you are removed from this ceremony, there will be severe consequences. Thank you.
Good morning. Veterans are men and women who have served in the military. More than 48 million Americans have served in times of war and peace since 1776. Veterans Day is observed on November 11th, the anniversary of the signing of the armistice that ended World War I. An armistice is an agreement to end fighting signed by opponents in a war. U.S. President Woodrow Wilson first proclaimed Armistice Day on November 11th, 1919. He wanted America to have a day to reflect on the heroism of veterans who died in service. The hope was that World War I would be the war to end all wars, but another war broke out in Europe only a few years later. Sadly, in the following years, hundreds of thousands of Americans lost their lives in World War II and the Korean War. In 1953, Alfred King, a shoe store owner in Emporia, Kansas, had an idea. Alfred believed it was important to expand Armistice Day to celebrate veterans of all wars, not just those who served in World War I. He began a campaign to turn Armistice Day into All Veterans Day. With the support of the Emporia community and help from U.S. Representative Ed Reeves, also from Emporia, a bill to replace Armistice Day with Veterans Day was pushed through Congress. President Dwight Eisenhower signed it into law on May 26, 1954, and November 11th has been known as Veterans Day ever since. Many people confuse Memorial Day and Veterans Day. Memorial Day is a day for remembering and honoring military personnel who died in the service of our country, especially those who died in battle. Veterans Day is a day set aside to honor all people who have served honorably in the military, both living and deceased veterans in wartime and peacetime. There are approximately 25 million living veterans. Veterans Day is a day to thank these living veterans for their service, to acknowledge that their contributions to our nation are appreciated, and to emphasize that all people who serve, not only those who have died, have sacrificed on behalf of our freedom. Many cities around the country hold community parades and events to honor and thank their local veterans and heroes. The most famous Veterans Day observance in the United States takes place at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier at Arlington National Cemetery. At 11 a.m., the same time of the signing of the armistice to end World War I, 2 minutes of silence are observed, and the President of the United States places a wreath at the tomb. Please turn your attention to the video for a message from our former Mustangs. Thank you.
Hello fellow Mustangs, happy Veterans Day to all the soldiers that have fought to defend our country. There are no words to describe the different obstacles encountered to sacrifice your life for us. We thank and appreciate you for your service. We were able to catch up with some of our Midland Valley alumni that have served in the military. Each of these veterans have a special message for those that are considering to join the military in the future. Take a look.
Hello, my name is Lucius Corley. I graduated in 2002 and I served 8.5 years in the United States Army. If I had to give any advice to someone wanting to pursue a career in the military, it would be to research which jobs will transfer into the civilian sector once you've completed your military service.
Hi, my name is Sergeant John Emery, Midland Valley High School class of 2006, United States Army, active duty 2007 to 2012. Some of the ways the military has changed my life, aside from giving me skills that I was able to bring with me to the civilian sector, taught me a lot of valuable life lessons and a lot of attributes which I carry with me to this day, some of which being loyalty, duty, respect, honor, selfless service, integrity, personal courage, etc. All right. My job in the Army was a military policeman, which goes without saying. Obviously maintaining law and order was one of my big responsibilities, and also training the local police of whatever resident nation we were in at the time, whether it be Iraq, Afghanistan, or etc. I chose to serve in the Army because I felt a need to give back to this amazing country of ours, and I thought I could best do that in the Army. And any advice that I would have for students that are seeking a military career, number one, do some research into the jobs that are available. All right, and if there's a job you really want that's not available yet, be patient, wait. All right, being a aircraft fuel engineer sounds really cool until you find out all you're doing is pumping gas. So get on Google, check that stuff out. Best thing you can do is find somebody that does that job and ask them all about it. Be a sponge, soak up all the information you can. All right, go Mustang.
Hello, my name is Marshall Blackman. I'm a graduate from Midland Valley High School, class of 2006. I joined the military right after high school in 2006 because I wanted to serve and be part of a greater purpose in life. It helped me get out of the small hometown I was in. I was a fueler in the military until I decided to become a gunner for my vehicle and train on heavy weapons. The military has changed my life in numerous ways. It gave me countless opportunities to grow, be who I am, be part of something better than myself, and part of a team. And any advice I would have for you future Mustangs who want to be a soldier or airman or a Marine is just keep in mind that there's always something better out there that you can be a part of for a greater service to the nation. And I wish you all the best, and go Mustangs.
with a prior career in the military. At this time, we ask that all come forward.
Lieutenant Commander Jim Moore. I served for 20 active years, 37 years altogether, cryptologic officer, and just really glad to be part of the Mustangs today.
Eric Wisham, 20 years after the Army, National Guard, retired last November, Operation as a Fox, Operation Freedom, Operation Enduring Freedom.
Hi, I'm Emma Rodriguez, Navy. 6 years, Agent 3, Hospital Corpsman. Served over in Kuwait and Iraq for a year.
Good morning. My name is Dr. Patricia Vito. I served in the Army for 20 years, 1983 to 2003, in the medical field. And it's been a pleasure. Thank you for honoring us today.
Good morning, First Lieutenant Jose Santiago Libran from Puerto Rico. I served for 10 years, 3 in active duty and 8 in reserves, and up at Fort Gordon, therefore here. Thank you.
I'm Chief Hospital Corpsman Lee Self. I served 23 and a half years in the Navy as a hospital corpsman. I did 1 tour, Operation Denied Flight, and I did 2 tours with the 2nd Marine Air Wing in Iraq.
Thank you all for your service.
Senator Tanya Anderson was elected to the state senate to represent Georgia's 43rd district in 2016 after being elected in 2012 to serve as the state representative for Georgia's 92nd district. While in the House of Representatives, she served as chair of the Women's Legislative Caucus, which is a bipartisan organization that advocates for issues that affect Georgian women and families. She also served on Defense and Veterans Affairs Committee and with the Working Families Caucus. Senator Anderson retired in 2012 from the United States Air Force Reserve after more than 21 honorable years of service and continues to volunteer and advocate for veteran services. In addition, she volunteers in the community through the Salvation Army, NCNW, and the NAACP, and several nonprofit boards. Senator Anderson is the recipient of many service awards, to include, but not limited to, being honored in 2016 by the National DAV President for her immaculate efforts in serving and advocating for the veteran community. In 2015, she was awarded the Woman of Influence Award from Women Veterans for Social Justice, Inc., and awarded the Woman of Excellence Award in 2014 by the National Federation of Women Legislators. Senator Anderson is an ordained minister and co-pastors Stronghold Christian Church East with her husband Houston. She holds a degree in business administration with an emphasis in management from Alabama State University, as well as a Master's of Divinity from Luther Rice University. We are delighted to have Senator Anderson here with us today and welcome her as she speaks.
Good morning, Mustangs. Good morning to the faculty, administrators, especially to Principal White for this invitation. Thank you all for having me here today. It is an honor to be here. I am, as you have heard, Tanya Anderson, and I am a state senator, and I serve in the state of Georgia, which is right across the line. So I'm delighted to be here this morning. Before I get started, I know we've already done this before, but I have to give credence and honor to those who have served in the armed forces. As I was preparing to come, I began to think about the service and sacrifice that happens to those who serve. The Coast Guard has this motto that says, always ready. Navy says, always strong. Army says, Army strong. Marine says, always courageous. And the Air Force says, aim high. So can we put our hands together for these fine young men who have served? Yes, yes. Happy Veterans Day to you. So we've heard the difference between Memorial Day and Veterans Day, and I thank you for doing that because sometimes people do get that confused. So Veterans Day is the day that we celebrate all veterans. And I remember my very first time in basic training. It was a warm spring day. Actually, it was hot because I was in San Antonio, Texas. And there were people who volunteered, who raised their hand, who had the courage to say, I will serve. And service means sacrifice and commitment. When people put their lives on the line for us to have the freedoms that we have, it's remarkable. The fact that we are in this room right now, we enjoy going to the mall. We enjoy going to do those things that we enjoy doing. We enjoy living in our homes peacefully. Well, a veteran is making sure that that happens. So when you see a veteran this weekend, and you will, thank them. I want to say that when I decided to serve in the armed forces, I was in my second year of college. And it was during a time when actually Desert Storm happened. I probably shouldn't tell my teacher. And I was a little worried because I wanted to finish college. I did. And I finished with more than 21 honorable years. When you're called to serve, you're called to serve. Doctors, nurses, teachers, lawyers, electricians, educators, plumbers, all have a unique gifting. You have a unique gifting. But to be a soldier, an airman, a seaman, that isn't for everyone. But everyone is called to do something special. Veterans are called to defend our country. So when you hear words like honor, service, valor, remembrance, you have to think of a veteran. When you hear words like loyalty, dedication, commitment, experience, making a difference, you have to think of a veteran. And because our country, because we've served our country, their sacrifice and contributions are invaluable. The thing that we sometimes forget is that our families sacrifice as well. So thank you to your families for being there to support you, for staying standing beside you when it was a little difficult. And when you return home, you should feel appreciated. And because we live in these United States, we still have issues that need to be addressed. Issues like homelessness, suicide, hunger. See, to me, veteran and homelessness, veteran and suicide, veteran and hunger don't. I know that's not proper English, Mr. English teacher. It does not fit in the same sentence. It's an oxymoron. How can I defend my country and still find myself facing difficulties? The problem is, many people don't understand the sacrifice that you and your family make. For you to for us to live in peace, to drive in peace, to go to the store, go where we want to go to the park. All those things cost. It costs someone's life. It may even cost their peace. Well, what society fails to understand is that liberty, life, and the pursuit of happiness only happens when the Coast Guard and the Navy are guarding our borders. When soldiers are overseas at war, keeping the enemy at bay. When a pilot is dropping bombs to keep the enemy from advancing. I don't think society fully realizes the sacrifice. So if you can protect me while I enjoy living peacefully, certainly I can hire you in a Fortune 500 company. You should be able to have housing. You should be able to prosper. You should be able to have health care. As I was preparing my speech, I found a quote quote from an unknown author, and I'm going to share it with you very quickly because I'm going to be very brief this morning. And it says, "It was a veteran, not a preacher, who has given you freedom of religion. It is a veteran, not the reporter, who has given you the freedom of speech. It is a veteran, not the campus organizer, who has given you freedom to assemble. It is the veteran, not the lawyer, who has given us the right to a fair trial. It is the veteran, not the politician, who has given us the right to vote. It is a veteran who salutes the flag, who serves under the flag. And as you have served for the land of the free and the home of the brave, you were brave enough to fight. You were brave enough to stand. You were brave enough to endure freedom. And because Veterans Day is especially dedicated to all living soldiers, we're honored that you're still here. Someone didn't make it back from the war, but we're honored that you're still here. When we put our lives on the line to defend our way of life, that's a fight for our families. It's a fight for the soldier's family that he leaves behind. Veterans maintain our freedom. Let us remember all the sacrifices made by our military members so that we can have a safer life. No amount of appreciation will be enough to honor them. We are thankful. I am thankful for you and your families that you have served our country and you have served us well. For the men and women who thought it courageous to do so, thank you. Courage is strength. Strength is power. And power unites us. It unites us on the front lines. There is no political party in the uniform. The main goal is to come back home alive. There is no red and blue. There is no black or white. The goal is to come home alive. And when we can take care of each other downrange, as we say, we can come home knowing that our families, our communities, our neighbors are safe, they're stronger. And when we stand united, which is what we pledge to do, stand united in these United States, we can continue to enjoy those freedoms that have been a sacrifice for our soldiers. Thank you for your service. Thank you for having me today. And please thank a veteran when you see them this weekend. Happy Veterans Day.
Good morning. The bugle call tax had its origins on the battlefield of the Civil War. After the Union suffered a large number of casualties in the battle near Richmond, Virginia, Brigade Commander Colonel Daniel Butterfield reflected with sadness upon the men he had lost. Unable to compose music, he hummed a melody which his aide wrote down in musical notations. The company bugler played it that night to honor their dead comrades. It was officially recognized by the United States Army in 1874. TAPS is the highest honor given to those who have died in service to our country. Would everyone please stand for the moment of silence for those who have lost their lives in service to our nation and freedom. Remain standing for the playing of TAPS.
We would just like to give her a gift in appreciation of her being here today, and would you just give her one more round of applause?
Thank you all for your participation and attention in today's program. FBLA was honored to assist in the organization of this year's event as we strive as future business leaders to identify the true meaning and value of leadership. We cannot think of a greater group of leaders to learn from than our country's heroes. To continue our appreciation, we will now dismiss our veterans and special guests to the Media Center for a reception.